Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're doing something a bit different, not just listening, but really breaking down an artist's strategy. We've got a deep dive into rapper Cam is Dope, looking at his album Day Logistics versus these really interesting new raw drafts called the Rollout.
Yeah, our sources give us this kind of rare peek behind the scenes. So our mission is to look past the polished tracks, see how an artist sharpens their persona, handles the production logistics, and maybe most importantly, how they build a zero-budget digital launch using, well, basically just the raw power of the material itself. We're tracking the creative change and the business thinking behind it.
Exactly. And you can't really talk about Cam as Dur without talking about the core partnership here. It's him, James Cameron Wallace on the writing and rapping, and then Fanatic on beat. That's R, doing the composing and producing. They're like the constant engine through both projects. It's not just a one-off thing.
Okay, right. So let's dig into this. Well, to get where he's going, you have to see where he's been, right? Day Logistics came out in 2025. Just 7 tracks, but very focused on the hustle, like the real practical grind, getting gas money, food, keeping a roof overhead so the music could happen. The whole feel was about necessity, getting through tough times. He even said he was down bad in the real way.
Yeah, I remember that. And what was striking was the honesty, wasn't it? You had tracks like Heartstrings, super personal, vulnerable, but then also Leave a Comment, which showed, even when talking struggle, he was already thinking about digital engagement, getting that feedback loop going. It built this like trust through authenticity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which makes the pivot in these new drafts, the rollout,
Yeah.
feel so dramatic. Day Logistics was surviving the grind. This new stuff, it's a heavy shift,
Yeah.
aggressive. It's about dominance, confrontation, less about the daily struggle, more about declaring, I've arrived.
And that shows up in this whole new identity he's pushing, the big dog persona. The sources quote him saying things like he's smashing through the scene and spitting real mean. I mean, it's not just confidence. It's designed to be intimidating, like the description. Bare teeth, marked territory, best in show, but truly scary. Less bark, a lot more bite. It's intense.
And look at the draft names.
Mhm.
Almost all of them have M tagged on the end, Bully Beatdown MM, Kiss M, Carnations MM. Given how raw these are, that M almost certainly means mixtape material or maybe master mix. It's like a signal, right?
Mhm.
This is potent, uncut stuff ready to flood the zone.
Okay, let's talk about that aggression strategically. Because it feels like more than just artistic expression. It feels calculated for business. These aggressive, short, punchy lines seem perfect for, viral clips. That seems central to this zero-budget digital plan.
Oh, totally. The confrontation is the marketing. Take that track, Bully Beatdown MM. It's claiming street justice, directly challenging people. That line, hey B, I beat your bully up. If you don't know my style, pull me up. I mean, it's short, it's provocative, it's designed to get a reaction, to be shared quickly, perfect for short-form video.
Wow, yeah. That's visceral. You can't just passively listen to that. It's like the words are meant to physically hit you. He even talks about his bars like they'll take away your breath like a body shot or put a fool to sleep. This a nightgown. That precision in lyrics is now like weaponized for maximum impact online.
But that brings up something interesting for you, the listener, to think about.
Yeah.
Day Logistics really resonated because it was so authentic about the struggle. Now, shifting to this very immediate, almost like theatrical big dog dominance, does he risk losing some of that original audience? Or do they see this as, the payoff for all that hustle?
That's the balancing act, isn't it? And you see that tension even in how he talks about movement or travel. If you connect it back in Logistics, movement was a problem. Remember Mismaintenance? All about car trouble, the frustration of just trying to get around.
Right. And now, movement is success. The rollout flips that completely. Tracks like Carnations MM, On My Way MM. Travel isn't a burden anymore. It's a luxury. The road becomes a vacation. The whole whip smelling like carnations, stargazing, bar raising. Success is mobile now. It's celebrated. High status.
But it's not just smooth sailing, right? The hustle themes are still there, but way more intense. Higher stakes. He gets really specific about the risk and reward, like explicit lines about drug prep. Break down the bud, no stems and no seeds. And then the scale of selling. Selling flowers like a florist. In an hour, I can sell a forest. It's a much grittier, detailed picture of the money and the danger involved. Stuff that was maybe just hinted at before.
Yeah, but what's also really interesting is how that emotional depth still cuts through all the aggression, even in these raw drafts.
You mean Kiss?
Exactly. Kiss MM. It kind of comes out of nowhere. recalling these intimate moments, talking about the pain of being better informed by the truth in a relationship that failed.
Right.
It shows that even while he's building this big dog image, there's still space for that complex, reflective side. It's not just one thing.
And pulling off that mix, the heavy aggression and the moments of complex emotion that takes serious technical skill behind the scenes. Which brings us back to Fanatic on beats. The sources say his role has really expanded for the rollout. He's not just the producer now. He's the engineer, the mix master guy, too.
Yeah, basically a one-man production house.
So why is that so important now? Is it because Cam is pushing his lyrics harder, that word math idea?
Absolutely. Cam needs Fanatic to deliver the right sound for what he calls his cold flows, hot beats philosophy.
Yeah.
That technical execution has to be flawless. Cam's aiming for surgical precision with the words. He says, have my way with words, verbals done surgically, wants to land every syllable. You need top-notch engineering, totally in sync with the artists to make that happen.
Okay, so that tightens up the sound. And then they wrap it all in this really strong visual identity. The cover art for the rollout seems key. It looks very specific.
Oh yeah, it's got that whole synthwave outrun vibe going on.
Describe that a bit.
Deep purples, electric blues, that kind of thing. And this stylized, like, flying sports car looks a bit like a futuristic DeLorean blazing across a starry background with jet exhaust. It's very distinct.
Speed, feature, retro cool.
Exactly. And it's not just cool looking, it's smart.
Smart how? For the zero budget thing.
Yeah. Synthwave visuals, they connect instantly with gaming culture, stuff that goes viral easily on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. It's an immediate visual hook. It looks high quality, fast, nostalgic, but new. It screams groundbreaking heavyweight sound, which is precisely the message.
And I saw the analysis mentioned the branding on the car.
Right. The name Fanatic is right there on the back of the flying car. It visually cements him as the driving force. Even the font for the rollout, it's pixelated, like classic video games. It all links back to that digital native retro cool aesthetic.
So we've got the persona, the sharp lyrics, the polished sound, the slick visuals. How does that all feed the actual zero budget rollout?
Well, the core idea is saturation. All that aggressive language, the smashing through the scene lines, they're meant to be clipped. The strategy is just flooding social media with these high-impact dominance clips. You don't need a big ad budget if the content itself is provocative enough to make people stop, watch, and share.
And it helps that he's not just appearing out of nowhere, right? He has roots.
Definitely. We saw mentions of him performing at the Epitome Gallery in Eureka, California, sharing stages with known names there like MC Radioactive on Air 11, DJ Goldilocks. Being grounded in that Northern California scene adds credibility. It makes the big dog claims feel more earned, less like pure invention. He's paid dues in that community.
And that community was kind of prepped for this engagement model too, wasn't it? Going back to leave a comment on the first album.
Yeah, exactly. He sort of trained his audience early on to interact, to give feedback. So when the rollout happens, relying on organic sharing and comments, the audience is already kind of primed to jump in and be part of it.
Okay, so let's try to sum up what we've learned comparing these two projects. There's a clear line, isn't there?
Yeah, a definite progression. From the necessary logistics of just surviving to this projection of confident dominance and celebrating movement. And it's all powered by this intensified partnership with Fanatic on Beats, handling the whole technical side, ensuring that precision.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me, though, because you have all this talk of dominance, success, stargazing, but then, like you said, the tension is still there. He drops lines like, I'm still shopping at the Dollar Tree and don't know why any of y'all would want to follow me, right alongside the big talk.
And that contradiction, that's probably key, isn't it? The huge success claims layered over the admission of the ongoing, everyday grind. That's what keeps the big dog persona maybe feeling authentic or at least relatable. Even when it's so over-the-top aggressive, it keeps him connected to where he came from.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is about that balance.
Right. He talks about more business, think less of it. So how does keeping this raw rapping style, even releasing these aggressive drafts, fit with the long-term goal he mentions? Keeping the village fed. What's that perfect line an artist has to walk? Between the raw, maybe risky hustle that grabs the audience and the polished, dominant image you need to, really scale things up. Where's the sweet spot?